unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. No, he travel. Double dribble. That's a foul. That's a foul. That's a foul. Trigger. Jaron Boots Ennis. Oh my gosh. Oh, I know y'all not gonna like this video if you don't like when Boxing Ego says, I tried to tell you. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the latest with Jaron Boots Ennis. You won't believe it. You're not gonna like it. I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I gotta toot my own horn. I know some people get mad. Oh, Ego, but why you gotta toot your own? Because I'm all that. Because I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. That's why. If you don't understand, then that's on you. I'm gonna run my channel how I want to run my channel, okay? Jaron Boots Ennis, a list of opponents has just dropped. Potential opponents for him to fight. I will go through this list starting in 3, 2, 1. Shout out to Brunch Boxing on Twitter. News. These are the names that have reportedly received offers to fight Jaron Boots Ennis next. Okay? Rashidi Speedy Ellis, Charles Conwell, Josh Kelly, which we knew about, I've already made videos about, and San Andreas Catscan or whatever. I don't know. Whatever that is, right? Who the fuck is that guy? Like, who is... Andre Nicotina. Oh, I love my job. Who is that? Like, bro, what are we talking about? And for the people mad, like, oh, Ego, why you gotta keep patting yourself on the back? It's saying you told us so. Because I told you so. Listen, if I'm wrong as an online content creator, I have to face the music. It just so happens I'm not wrong that much. So you definitely get more of I told you so than anything else. And if you're in my position, that's a good spot to be in, right? Because again, I get it wrong occasionally, you know, and I got to face the music and be like, oh, my prediction was wrong, or oh, this was wrong. But more often than not, the information I provide you is reliable. These names are Trinidad for Jaron Boots Ennis. And I'm going to break down why I feel this way. Right? So Rashidi Ellis, he's a 147 pounder. That's the biggest thing. And he lost to a guy that Jaron Ennis beat in Roman Villa, right? At this point, I wanted to see this fight, Rashidi Ellis and Jaron Boots Ennis. This was back when unfortunately, they were on the same card, a Gervonta Davis card, because Tank is a face of boxing. And in 2023, that's when people wanted to see the fight. Not 2 years later in a new weight class that is foreign to them. Since that point, Rashidi Ellis has been staying busy with these random names, 14-5 guys, 16-9, 24-8-3. You know what I mean? He's been fighting on like smaller leagues and smaller cards, just kind of staying busy, but nobody notable. So a Rashidi Ellis fight has zero steam right about now. In 2023, see, I tell you all the time, boxing, you have to strike while the iron is hot. Things don't always just persist and remain, right? Things don't always just persist and remain because that's what you want them to. Things change rapidly in the sport of boxing. Like Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant going into the Canelo fight, undefeated, had a belt. Now, more recently, lost to Canelo, lost to David Benavidez, and then recently lost to Resendez. You have to factor these things in. So he's at a different spot in his career now than was the case before Canelo. And that was also a couple years ago when he fought Canelo. So again, you can't just imagine because you want to see a fight 3 years ago that it holds up. I wanted to see Mikey Garcia versus Yuriorkis Gamboa, but if they announced that they were fighting tomorrow, I wouldn't care because I wanted to see that like 12 years ago. You see how that works? So just because you want to see a fight at one point doesn't mean it just remains forever in the sport of boxing. Then you have Charles Conwell, right? Okay, people wanted to see that fight at a point in time, but he just lost. This year, he lost. April 19th of this year, he lost to a 32-4 guy, Jorge Garcia Perez. So he's coming directly off of a loss from this year. So tell me why I want to see this fight. Now, before Charles Conwell was doing well for himself, he wasn't a big name. Let's just keep that real. He wasn't a big name, and people, I guess, maybe wanted to see the fight. It still wouldn't have been like a blockbuster fight, but cool. He was at least undefeated. But why would I want to see him coming directly off a loss fight the guy? Who else they got on this list? That Josh Kelly, come on, bro. And he said he got lowballed anyway. So I've already gave my thoughts on Josh Kelly, so I'm gonna skip past him. Josh Kelly, that's another fight that people no, ain't nobody chomping at the bit to see Josh Kelly, who got knocked out by a guy that Jaron Ennis knocked out, right? And then Andre Nickatina, whoever this is. I mean, come on, bro. Like, who is this blood? Like, come on, dog. Come on, bro. He looked like 28 years later or something. Come on, bro. This is what Eddie Hearn has for you? A guy with 16 bouts, 11 knockouts. He's probably ranked, cool. He fought Brandon Adams, and he barely won, split decision. Come on, bro. Like, is this real? Like, what is fighting this dude, right? What is this gonna do for Boots Ennis? Like, be real with me. I really want to know, bro. I really want to know what this does for Boots. I mean, bro, he looked like Apocalypse from X-Men movie. Like, come on. Come on, bro. You gotta feel me, bro. He looked like Apocalypse. He looked like Apocalypse. Ain't nobody asked for this. Eddie Hearn, do better. Come on, bro. I don't know, bro. So I know some fans they like, oh, but ego. Oh, but ego. Oh, the humanity. How did you tell us this? Okay, let's start from the beginning. The day Jaron Boots Ennis and rematch room, Eddie Hearn deal was announced, your boy Ego had several complaints and questions. I was like, how is this going to work? Who requested this? Why did he leave from potentially signing with Espinoza and PBC? And now look at Jaron Ennis' career. The whole time with Eddie Hearn, okay, he got a unification. Listen, I don't really care. I told you, belts do not matter. I don't care who's mad. It is what it is. The reason I'm saying this is because belts, Tank Davis is a budding huge star in the sport of boxing. He told you he don't care about belts and all that. He don't care. So what is that telling you when the biggest star is telling you he don't really care? Canelo has said like he's not going to be defined by belts. So the two biggest stars in all of boxing said they're bigger than the belts, basically, right? Even Ryan Garcia, who's never been a champion, he's still a name and say he didn't care about belts at points of his career. So tell me exactly how the belts really matter, right? Meaning like Boots just unified. It was a good performance, but nobody's talking about it. Outside of hardcore boxing fans, you don't really have anybody talking about it. It's not like, oh, this did 1 million views and Boots is a household name, which was my fear for Boots because I like Boots. I like his style of fight. I was messing with the journey, but I questioned Eddie Hearn specifically in his infrastructure, how he was going to be able to move Boots, considering he has never made a star in America. Somebody who was not a bankable star, and Eddie Hearn started working with him, and he turned them into household names. Not Tevin Farmer, not Danny Jacobs, good fighters, but he never made them. He might have made them a purse. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about making somebody a star, like where people know who this guy is. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, everybody knows who this person is. So a British dude, Eddie Hearn, never did that. When he was working with Devin Haney, he didn't do that. His biggest fights happened, and it wasn't under the Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia, probably his biggest fight. And guess what? It wasn't under rematch. It was a Golden Boy promotion. So again, These are my fears, and now my fears have been realized for Jaron Ennis's career, right? Jaron Ennis's career. Every single name that I mentioned on that list from Brunch Boxing sounds horrible. Like, not even as a hardcore boxing fan. Again, I've already went over. I'm not going to go over it again. If you didn't hear, rewind the track and picture me rolling. Rashidi Ellis, Charles Conwell, bad timing. Josh Kelly, nobody ever wanted to see that fight. Also a former welterweight. And then Andre Nicotina or whatever, nobody's asking for any of these fights. So the other big problem is Boots continues to get looked and passed up by everybody in or around of his division. I've already made a video. They're talking about Virgil Ortiz could fight Keith Thurman. So if that happens in October, then that means Virgil Ortiz will have fought Keith Thurman, Boachuk, and Madrimov after he gave Crawford a tough fight. Where is Boots in this mix? Boots has not fought none of these type of names. And there's been opportunities. Turkey's like, I'm not a charity. I'll pay you money, but you got to fight the people I want. And then it looks like from the Boots side, there's resistance, like we need a tune-up or we're not ready to move up to 54. You got to ish or get off the pot. You know what I mean? Boots is a very talented fighter. This ain't it. This ain't cutting it. Like, Eddie Hearn is going to forever have to put Boots in or around Philly to try to post Boots' fights, which proves Boxing Ego, what I'm saying is right. If Boots fights one of these guys and he fights in or around Philly, it'll prove my point even more, because you don't know how to move him. You can't make him a star anywhere else. That's what people do. Top Rank did it with Terrence Crawford. They did it with Shakur Stevenson. They didn't really know how to move these black stars to become bigger, budding pay-per-view stars. So they just kept going back to the well. Crawford, you're from Nebraska. We're going to keep sticking you in Lincoln and Omaha. Shakur, you're from Newark, New Jersey. We don't know. We're going to put you where you're from, right? That's the oldest trick in the book. But to become a true star, you have to be good in different markets. Like, imagine Boxing Ego. I wouldn't be here if only my state of California listened to me. Even though California is the biggest state, I have tons of fans in New York. I got fans in Texas, UK, Philippines, Ireland, right? Kazakhstan, etc., etc. That's the power of online streaming and like YouTube and these platforms, right? I can't just be relegated like only people in California know me. I've been to fights in Madison Square. I've been to fights at AT&T Stadium, the biggest venues, and people always come up to me. Oh, I watch your channel. Oh, can I get a picture? You know what I mean? It's just what it is. So to make Boots a star, this ain't it. Nobody asked for these fights. They're not good. And what does it really prove? And then it further makes Boots look bad because there's been some discrepancies on why he's not fighting the Virgil Ortizes. Why don't fight Fundora? Why is Eddie Hearn making, like, you can't tell me Fundora after he just beat Tim Tszyu even cleaner, Fundora versus Boots wouldn't be a great fight. It wouldn't be a great fight. So something is up. Either they want to move Boots slowly, or there's some, I don't know. You let me know. I don't want to speculate too much, but it's not looking good with these. It's like you want to stay in this realm of opponent. Boots, I told you, once you get a fighter like Boots, this level of opponent is no longer satisfying anymore, because it's like Top Rank doing showcase fights. Cool. You have all these heavyweights and they knocking people out, but it's like, who are these people they're knocking out? You know what I mean? These people are coming off losses, people coming off inactivity, coming off the couch, depending on the division. They gained a lot of weight. It doesn't really prove much. And then you put that heavyweight with a top heavyweight like Usyk, and then they get cooked because they ain't fought nobody. And then when they did fight somebody, they weren't really prepared for it. So I don't understand this succession plan or this plan of action. Boots re-signed to Eddie Hearn, and it looks regrettable because it's like, what is Eddie Hearn outside of monetary? Because you are going to make, if you're Boots Ennis, you're like an urban legend. You were going to make money at some point regardless, because you're skilled and you have the look you have style, and you're a good fighter. But this ain't the ticket. This is Demetrius Andrade 2.0, Crawford at Top Rank 2.0, where you're a great fighter, and then we never get to see you with fighters that are on the same timeline as you. So it's like we never get to see how good you are, basically. Virgil Ortiz, he's on the same timeline. He's been doing well for himself. Guys like Fundora, as I mentioned, on the same timeline. Jermell Charlo, respected person. He's on the same timeline. All these other guys on the same timeline at 54. And PBC has a ton of these guys. This is the best you could do. You just work with a PBC fighter, Stanionis, at 47, and then none of these fighters are PBC. This is the best you can do, right? I promise on everything, I'd rather see Boots Murtazaev or Erickson Lubin or anybody like that. You know, anybody in that echelon. Fundora. I mean, I could think of several guys at 54. Boachuk. That's a good fight. Boachuk and Boots. That would be a better fight than this. So Boots continues to fight the competition that no one's really asking for. You know, you called out Crawford. If you're ready for Crawford, how are you not ready for Mean Machine when you were at 47, which to me would have at least been better than some of the guys you did fight? You know, Mean Machine would have been a better name than David Avocado, who got stopped by him, right? Now at 54, I just named several people you could fight that all would be better than these names for different reasons. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.